All right, welcome. Today we're going to unpack a really powerful idea from a devotional text called The Mandate of Salvation. Now, what's interesting here is that it presents a global mission not as just, a suggestion, but as an absolutely critical precondition for a prophesied future. So let's dive in and explore the logic behind this urgent call to action. Okay, so the entire argument of this devotional really hinges on this one verse. And you got to look at the structure here. It's basically a cause and effect statement. It frames this huge global mission, preaching the gospel everywhere, as the final prerequisite before the end it shall come. This direct link between an action and a timeline, that's the engine that drives this entire text. Now, to build the case for why this mission is so urgent, the text first sets the stage by defining the problem. It argues that to really understand the solution, we first have to grasp the sheer scale of the world's need. According to the source, the world's core problem isn't any single crisis like war or famine. No, it's something more fundamental, a widespread state of darkness and confusion. This internal, kind of spiritual condition is presented as the root cause of everything else the gospel is meant to solve. So, if the problem is the state of darkness, the text proposes a single, definitive answer that's designed to bring light, and that answer is Christ's salvation. That answer is identified simply as the gospel. And in the context of this devotional, this isn't just some abstract philosophical idea. It's framed as God's direct, tailored response to that global state of darkness and confusion we just talked about. The text then really broadens the scope of this. It positions Christ as a truly comprehensive solution. And just look at the list here. It's presented as the answer, not just for spiritual problems like misery and decay, but also for physical ones like disease. The key takeaway here is that it's portrayed as this all-encompassing remedy for, pretty much every facet of human suffering. So this understanding of a massive global problem and one specific solution leads right to what the devotional calls a mandate. This isn't just information to know. It's a very specific call to action for every reader. So how do you actually participate in this mandate? Well, the text lays out 4 very practical avenues. And what's strategic here is the blend. You've got internal spiritual actions like prayer. You have external actions like witnessing. And then you have these communal efforts like getting involved strategically or partnering financially. The whole framework suggests that everyone, and I mean everyone, has a role to play, no matter their skills or resources. Of course, a mission this huge raises a pretty natural question. How could any one person possibly hope to accomplish it? The text seems to anticipate this because it immediately shifts focus to the source of power that's required for the task. The answer starts right here with this concept of sufficiency. The text makes it super clear that the ability to fulfill this mandate doesn't come from your own talent or your strength or how well you speak. Instead, it argues that the competence you need is sourced directly from God. And if that sufficiency comes from God, this next verse specifies the mechanism. The text pinpoints the Holy Ghost as the agent that delivers the power you need to actually be a witness. So it creates this direct line from divine empowerment to the practical act of sharing the message. And this brings us to the ultimate purpose, the why behind this whole mandate. The text wraps up its argument by presenting this as the final goal, a desire for everyone to achieve salvation and understand the truth. Every piece of this, the problem, the solution, the call to action, it's all in service of this one universal aim. And so, the devotional leaves us with a really powerful question for our own time. I mean, think about it. In a world with fragmented media, instant global connectivity, and just immense cultural diversity, what would it actually look like to deliver a single universal message to every nation? It's a closing thought that really underlines the profound scale of the mandate we've just explored.